First story, by Sarah Mitchell. It all started one chilly October evening in the quiet suburban neighborhood of Rosewood, nestled in the heart of New Jersey. I had just returned from a long day at work and was looking forward to a peaceful evening of unwinding in my cozy two-story home. Little did I know, my night would take a sinister turn that would leave me questioning the safety of my own home. As I settled into my favorite armchair, wrapped in a warm blanket, I couldn't help but notice a figure lurking in the shadows across the street. At first, I dismissed it as a trick of the dimming daylight, a play of my imagination. However, as the minutes ticked by, the figure became more distinct. The person was dressed in tattered clothing, shrouded in darkness. Their face was obscured, hidden beneath a hood that cast eerie shadows over their features. They stood perfectly still, like a statue, watching my every move. My heart quickened, and unease crept through my veins. I knew my best course of action was to call the police, but fear and curiosity held me captive. What could this person possibly want? My rational mind told me to stay away from the window, but an irrational curiosity drew me closer. Hours passed, and the figure remained unflinching. The night grew colder, and I realized that I needed to put an end to this unnerving spectacle. Slowly, I dialed 911 and reported the strange person outside my home. The operator assured me that a patrol car would be dispatched, and they advised me to stay inside and lock all doors and windows. Minutes felt like hours as I watched the mysterious figure through the blinds. Suddenly, they turned and disappeared into the darkness. I heaved a sigh of relief, convinced that my call had frightened them away. However, my relief was short-lived. A few hours later, a knock at my front door sent a shiver down my spine. I peered through the peephole and was met with a sight that sent terror coursing through me. It was the same hooded figure, standing on my porch, facing away from the door. Fear paralyzed me for a moment, but I knew I had to act. With trembling hands, I dialed 911 once more, whispering my desperate situation to the operator. As I waited for the police to arrive, I retreated to my bedroom, barricading the door with a heavy dresser. Minutes later, the sound of sirens pierced the silence, and I heard the commotion outside. The police had arrived, and I could only hope they would apprehend the sinister intruder. But when they entered my home, they found no one. The officers took my statement and promised to patrol the area throughout the night. They assured me that they would do everything in their power to keep me safe. Despite their reassurances, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was far from over. For the next few weeks, I lived in a constant state of fear. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the wind, sent me into a state of panic. I installed security cameras, reinforced my doors and windows, and even considered moving. But the sinister presence never returned. To this day, I can't help but wonder who that hooded figure was and what their intentions were. My peaceful suburban life had been shattered, leaving me forever haunted by the memory of that chilling night. Second story, by Mark Johnson. It was a hot summer in Los Angeles, and I had just settled into my suburban home in the peaceful neighborhood of Brentwood. As a middle-aged man, I relished the tranquility and simplicity of my life. Little did I know that my peaceful existence was about to be shattered by a relentless and chilling presence. It all began with subtle signs, a mysterious bouquet of flowers left on my doorstep, cryptic messages scrawled on my car windshield in lipstick, and unsettling phone calls that consisted of nothing but heavy breathing. At first, I brushed it off as a prank, the work of a mischievous teenager with too much time on their hands. But as the days turned into weeks, the situation escalated. I began to notice a shadowy figure lurking in the distance whenever I left my home. They wore a hat pulled low, obscuring their face, and always seemed to blend into the background, just beyond my line of sight. My sense of security eroded with each passing day. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that every step I took was monitored by an unseen observer. I tried to confide in friends and family, but their skepticism only deepened my isolation. One night, as I sat alone in my dimly lit living room, I received a chilling message on my phone. It was a photo of me, taken through my living room window, with the words, "I see you," scrawled across it in crimson ink. Panic coursed through me, and I dialed 911, my voice trembling as I explained the situation to the dispatcher. The police arrived promptly, but the stalker had vanished without a trace once again. They assured me that they would increase patrols in the area and recommended installing a security system. I followed their advice, but the sense of dread remained. As weeks turned into months, my stalker's tactics grew more invasive. They seemed to know my daily routine intimately, showing up at my workplace, my favorite coffee shop, and even my gym. They never made direct contact, always lurking in the shadows. Sleep became a distant memory as I stayed awake, vigilant and paranoid. I felt like a prisoner in my own life, unable to escape the relentless tormentor who seemed to revel in my fear. I considered moving, changing my identity, anything to escape this living nightmare. One fateful night, as I returned home, I noticed a handwritten letter on my doorstep. I hesitantly picked it up, my hands trembling as I read the chilling message inside. It was a detailed account of my daily life, my habits, and even my innermost thoughts. The stalker had somehow infiltrated my home, violating the sanctity of my personal space. Terrified and desperate, I contacted the police once more. This time, they launched a full-scale investigation, combing through the evidence left behind in the letter. It led them to an unassuming neighbor who had been living just a few houses away. It turned out that he had been watching me for years, meticulously documenting my every move. The arrest of my tormentor brought a sense of relief, but the scars of that harrowing experience lingered. I had learned the chilling truth that sometimes, the monsters in our lives are not supernatural beings, but the ones who walk among us, hidden in plain sight. Third story, by Emma Reynolds. Fresh out of college, I embarked on an adventure to start a new life in the picturesque town of Wiltshire, nestled in the heart of the English countryside. My cozy cottage, dating back centuries, was a dream come true, or so I thought. Little did I know that the tranquility of this charming town would soon be shattered by a relentless and unsettling presence. It all began on a misty autumn afternoon. I had just finished unpacking the last of my boxes when I heard the faint sound of footsteps outside my cottage. I peered through the wavy glass of the ancient window, but the dense fog obscured my view. I dismissed it as the imagination of a newcomer and carried on with my day. As the weeks passed, the footsteps became a regular occurrence, always at odd hours when darkness blanketed the town. They were subtle, almost ghostly, as if the intruder knew the precise moments when I would be least vigilant. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching, waiting, and plotting. One night, as I lay in bed, the footsteps approached my bedroom window, their eerie presence sending shivers down my spine. I could hear faint murmurs, unintelligible whispers in a language foreign to me. My heart raced as I realized that this was no ordinary trespasser. Fear gripped me, and I reached for my phone to dial the local police. But before I could make the call, the whispers grew louder, and a chilling voice echoed through the darkness. "Emma," it hissed, a sinister familiarity in its tone. I froze, my fingers trembling on the phone's keypad. Suddenly, the window shattered, and a dark figure lunged into my room. I screamed, scrambling to the corner, my heart pounding like a drum. The intruder was cloaked in shadows, their features obscured, but their intent was clear. They were here for me. With sheer desperation, I dialed 999, gasping out my address as the intruder advanced. The operator assured me that help was on the way, but I could hear the sinister intruder's malevolent laughter as they drew closer. I had to act fast. I lunged for the bedside lamp and hurled it at the intruder, the impact causing them to stumble. It bought me precious seconds to make a run for it. I darted out of the room, racing down the creaky stairs, and out into the foggy night. Moments later, the police arrived, their sirens slicing through the darkness. They searched my cottage, but the intruder had vanished without a trace once again. The officers assured me that they would patrol the area and advised me to stay with a friend or neighbor for the night. As days turned into weeks, the town of Wiltshire buzzed with rumors of the mysterious intruder. Some believed it was a vengeful spirit from the past, while others whispered of a secret cult that lurked in the shadows. The truth remained elusive, leaving me to grapple with the fear that the sinister presence might return. My quaint cottage, once a sanctuary, had become a haunting reminder of the nightmarish ordeal I had endured. The ancient walls seemed to hold secrets, and the fog that shrouded the town concealed mysteries that I could not fathom. To this day, I live with the unsettling knowledge that the tranquility of the English countryside can mask the darkest of horrors. Thank you for watching whole video. Check this video you see on the screen, it's one of my favorite. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash that like to support my free and daily content for you. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment and tell me what story got you chills.